It is 5:32, calling the meeting to order of the Pawlet Public Library Board of Trustees. Do I have on there to approve minutes? No, it's... Agenda. Oh, this is it. Okay. Oh, it's right here. Hello. Did you take mine? No. Okay. I brought mine. Can I look at? Can you put it in the middle? I can. Sorry, I have one though. Okay. I will read the operating norms. As a board, we will focus on agenda topics, be open-minded, respect each other, value different viewpoints, be responsive and responsible to our community, referencing the strategic plan, make decisions based on data and facts, listen to each other, be reflective and run meetings that respect time, have concise agendas, and are transparent. Do we have public comment? Okay. Anybody else? Just public comment?
Okay.
Yeah. I just wanted to get a show of hands just to figure out on time how much.
I have a letter from someone to read.
Okay. Yeah. So 3. Okay.
No, 4.
4. Okay.
I think that's Bob.
That's great. So we have 10 minutes allotted, just so we'll be mindful of that. I don't know, where was it over here? I didn't see. Hi. Yes.
Do you want to know like my name, where I'm from?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, my name's Rachel Yoder. I live in DNB. I've been coming to the library for 10 years with my 2 kids. And I think Adele and Nina have done a great job at running the library since Lindsay left. And I have full confidence in their ability to continue running the library.
Thank you. I think there was another hand over there, on the side. Hi.
Yeah, hi. My name is Nicole Alexander. I live in Mandy as well, and I come here to the library and love all the things that are accessible to us here, and I wanted to basically second that. I'm here to say that I really appreciate Nina's, what she's offering here at the library. I haven't had a chance to meet Adele yet, but
All right.
yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Bob?
Bob Sherman. I just want to also say that Adele and Nina have done a great job, and particularly Adele is the face of the library. Whenever you come in, she's here. She gets me books on things that I want, and so I just basically support Adele and Nina. Possibly co-directors until something happens.
Thank you. Anybody else in the audience? Heather, hi.
Yeah, Heather Thomas. I live in Wells. I frequent the library quite a bit and really enjoy my time here with Alice, my daughter, who's 8. We've also hosted events here, and I hosted a mental illness recovery class with NAMI in November. It's just a very welcoming space with Adele and Nina here, and I really want to make sure that that is maintained, because I think while they are the light of the library, there's also been a lot of darkness around transitions and whatnot, and so I just really want to express my overwhelming feelings that Adele and Nina should be acknowledged for their contributions, both just in terms of goodwill in the community and financially.
And then,
Yeah, my name's Sue Laporte, and I'm on the board this month. Anyway, so I got a letter, an email from Joanne Van Meter, who's a resident of Pawlet and a retired librarian. And she says, I sent her the link, well, I'll just read it. Thank you for sending me the link to the Manchester Journal article. I just finished listening to the latest board meeting on PEG TV. I feel that the library board is doing an excellent job of running meetings, and I'm glad to see Grace speak up and give very valuable opinions. I agree with many community members that Adele has stepped up to keep the library open. She is warm and welcoming to patrons. I disagree with her opinion that the job of library director and assistant director are basically the same thing. I would be totally opposed to giving Adele and Nina the position of co-directors. It would demean the role of library director. Adele has stated in the past that she has no interest in becoming a library director or taking the necessary coursework. The library board has experienced the lack of writing skills from both Adele and Nina, and I believe their writing skills would not be proficient enough to achieve necessary results in obtaining grants. Lindsay was certainly doing an excellent job of building the collection at the library. When Adele took over the job, it was obvious to me that she was not trained to develop the collection. Adele was correct in reporting that attendance in programs last year was dismal. It's just another example of an untrained person attempting to fulfill the position of library director. I'm not familiar with Nina's position or role at the library. I'm not sure the library board knows what her duties are either. I certainly hope the library board will fulfill their obligation of hiring a new library director soon. As a member of the hiring committee last year, I saw several competent candidates. I will hope that the library board will resume their search for a new director so that the library can move forward in a positive direction. And that's from Joanne Van Meter of Pawlet.
And I have some things to read as well.
Okay.
This is from Arena Heidi. Dear Pawlet Library Board.
From Arena.
Arena Heidi.
Okay. Where's she from?
Danby.
Thank you.
The board should be allowing Adele and or Nina to line up volunteer substitutes or volunteers for other things. According to the Vermont law, the trustees should let the librarian manage the library, and the librarian should probably be given the authority to even hire other personnel. Sue Laporte and Corey Rail, if she was the one to give her the orders, was overstepping her role to force Maisha and I to leave and shut the library down when we were willing to keep it open for people until 3 o'clock or so. People came early to yoga, and someone came very early yesterday. Sue really should have been thanking us instead of belittling us and making us feel like we were doing something inappropriate and wrong. They rely on Adele to function as the director and handle everything for such a long time, but then undermine her authority and take forever to pay her and Nina a reasonable salary. It isn't right. Sincerely, Arena Heidi.
What's her last name?
Heidi.
How do you spell it? No, that's her
It's,
second name.
oh, do you guys know her last name?
It is Arena Heidi.
Her name is Arena Heidi.
Oh, that's her own.
That's her
Oh,
name.
okay. Okay. So we have the treasurer's report and the discussion on the credit card update. Did you want me to read? Oh, okay. So Julie's here to read a memo that she sent to the board.
I have applied for a new credit card account for the library. I will be the primary owner on this account, and once it is established, I will add the library board treasurer as a designated officer on the card. I will also be able to order a new card in the assistant director's name. If I had to guess, the new account should be active within the next few weeks. Regarding the closing of the previous account, I would like to clarify to the board that I spoke with the bank and worked collaboratively with the prior director in order to set up a credit card for the library. Admittedly, the ownership of the account was solely theirs. I believe that the new system is a much better way of ensuring smoother transitions as people, both staff and trustee alike, move in and out of the organization. When the director was dismissed in 2023, the previous treasurer of the library board took it upon themselves to cancel and establish a new line of credit, again as the sole owner. I understand that the library board was asked to cancel that line of credit, but I want to be clear that there was only one person that could change the ownership of that account, and that person was the owner of the account. To date, I have no emails or phone messages to set up a time to work on transferring ownership. I do know that there was some communication on that topic between the former treasurer and the current treasurer, but in order to change ownership to myself, we would have needed to work together, and instead they chose to cancel the account. Collaborative work between the library trustees and the town treasurer are not just best practices, but necessary practices. While the library board is responsible for expending library funds, the town treasurer processes accounts payables and cash receipts, and the books of the library are audited when the town books are audited. The bookkeeping of the library is the responsibility of the town treasurer, and banking, including establishment of deposit accounts and lines of credit, should be initiated jointly.
Thank you, Jim. The next is discussion, action, January 20th, 2025, open meeting law complaints.
So we had a suggested.
Yes, do we have I have it printed. Wait, I don't have that one printed, do I?
Do you want to pull it up?
Yes, I have it here. So we have some wording from legal counsel on this.
Oh, sure. Yeah, may I?
Sure, there it is.
Okay, I'm going to move to determine that a complaint form emailed to the board on January 20th, 2025 does not state any open meeting law violation and that no cure is necessary.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
We can discuss, yeah? Is there any discussion?
I'm sure you all read it, right?
Martha, did you have?
Well, I don't quite understand that because I've read the Vermont statutes on public record law, and everything I asked for was part of public record.
Correct, so it is not an open meeting law violation. That is what we have, that's what we're discussing right now.
And then the lawyer also recommended that we engage in any debating about it.
Right, it's just a...
I didn't hear that.
He recommended we don't debate that and just...
The statement which she made.
He told us that it is not a violation of open meeting law.
But could your counsel, could he provide a written statement on his letterhead to that effect, and particularly cite the exemptions in Vermont Public Record Law number 317? Could he cite what he considers the exemptions to not answering my questions?
That's a separate issue, Martha. That's why we're talking about the open meeting law complaint, and that we found that we did not have a violation of open meeting law.
But he also said that it would be appropriate for us to email the documents that she asked for.
Correct.
So the documents...
But to not discuss. That's separate.
The five of us need to discuss it. Like, we need to discuss it, Joni. Because I'm really confused about sometimes when you're talking to the lawyer and we're not involved or we didn't talk about it to discuss you doing that. I think it's really important that we work, like best practices, that we work together. Even if we disagree on some stuff, we have to work together.
Agreed.
So again, this is about the open meeting law complaint, and that's what we're talking about at this point. So any more discussion on that from the board? Let's have a vote.
So just to be clarified, the open meeting law complaint was void. And that is the only thing that we're discussing. We're not discussing the document request.
Correct.
Okay.
The
document request is a separate thing.
Right.
Great.
This is, what is on the agenda is...
I just wanted to
You read what we read.
I just wanted to clarify that this was two different issues and we're only clarifying the open meeting law complaint. That was all.
Yep, that's what's on the agenda.
Yeah, I just was stating it for those in the back. Thanks.
Okay, so...
So could somebody clarify where my complaint about public records, that you violated public record acts by not responding to my questions? How do I issue that kind of complaint?
So we can now, with Martha's, can we ask for, what do we do with that? We put it on the next month's agenda or what do we do?
I think we can actually take care of that outside of,
So one of, oh, right,
gotten.
one of us can take care of it, correct?
So
why don't we discuss that now and appoint, do you want to do that? I'm
Well,
assuming?
I'm happy to, I've collected
I think
information.
that we received that information from Julie, a memo. So I think that that was, from my understanding, that we don't need to discuss it, that is a one-to-one, and that should get satisfied.
Your records request will be satisfied. Your request
Today.
today, I will satisfy your records request. I will send you an email with the records that you asked for.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yes. And I understand that's like splitting hairs, but that's just how that works, you know, and that's, if we're responding to the violation, that's what we have to do. So do we have a vote on that motion? All in
The
favor?
motion, sorry, just to clarify, sorry, the motion that there is no open meeting law violation.
That's
Correct, that's the only motion that's on the table.
Sorry, there's no
at
one
this
back and
point.
forth. Great, thanks.
There should only be one at the time. So do I have a vote? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No, so that motion carries. So, discussion and action, possibly, how to proceed with no director, breakdown of library needs, org chart. And I came up with an org chart here just to help us, again, with what, sort of what Julie was talking about, which is the way the board should function and the way, you know, how it works with the public. And so this is kind of just to help us understand what our charge is and,
That's great.
you know, where our responsibilities are. And
I wish we could share it with the audience.
yeah, I can pass it around. I made I have 2 copies, but I don't have a.
You don't have a projector?
I wasn't able to get that going. It was a long day today, so.
Did you get one of these?
So, and I can just state it to everybody, just to let you know. So at the top, we have the voters of the town of Pawlet. And then they, branching off of them is the Pawlet Select Board, and then also the Pawlet Public Library Board of Trustees. We are elected both separately by the town of Pawlet. The Public Library Board of Trustees, we have 5 positions. They are 3 years each, and I believe 2 seats are open, and then the next year 2 seats are open, and then the next year it's 1 seat open. We don't necessarily report to the select board, we, I believe, are sort of on the same thing as far as being voted on by the town of Pawlet. The select board has their interaction with us in that they give appropriations as requested to the Pawlet Public Library. That's our main relationship with the select board. Then, branching down from that is the library director, who then oversees the library staff, which we have currently community resource coordinator, assistant librarian, and volunteers. And that is just kind of the framework for us to discuss things, I think, maybe, and just to help everybody understand. And we had a lot of information about the job duties and job description, and I just thought maybe the board could talk about what, you know, we think is important to, or lacking. Obviously, having a director is our main focus in charge as a board, but in the meantime, while we don't, that's, you know, I'd like to discuss what we think needs to happen for the library to be open. It's kind of a big charge, and I'm sorry I didn't get this, I just finished it before a meeting, I'm sorry I didn't get it out to everybody to give a look at.
This that Adele wrote up for us.
That's very helpful to start with that, Corey. Thank you for doing that. And I want to start just by acknowledging the fact that the library has gone, it's been a really difficult, how many, 14 months? Is that correct?
Yeah.
And obviously, it must have been a little difficult before that as well, but, and I have a deep appreciation for everybody who's been able to maintain the library being open, especially without the leadership that it involves. And I really think that what Joanne Van Meter's letter speaks to is important because she's a retired library. I feel like Joanne over the last year has been an independent thinker, a critical thinker, and has been very helpful when we are feeling like, to me, that we're trying to do an awful lot of work without a lot of leadership and expertise. So we had, since I've been on the board in March, we had a director part-time for, how long was Christine on?
3 months.
For 3 months. So it didn't feel like we ever really got any traction with feeling or knowing what that would feel like, having a director run the library and doing all these things that I feel I hope for the library to have in place to run effectively, and like Julie had mentioned, with good practices. I think it's really important. And it feels like since Harley left abruptly and the day before Christine leaving abruptly, it feels, and leaving us without a chair, without any kind of action plan, with a lack of a director or a chair, it has felt, it hasn't felt good to see a lot of the stuff that's happened that I think would be handled differently had they had a professional director in place. I think that, I know that we've talked about in open meeting some letters that have gone out with, signed by the trustees that never came to my desk, I never saw, that were poorly written. I've seen stuff that I don't really think it's necessary to bring all that out at the table. Like, I don't want to just sit here and criticize. I think it's just really important to think about the difference of having a library run by a professional director. And again, that is not to negate the importance of Adele and Nina. I mean, Adele has been here 16 years. Yeah, it's an incredible commitment, and I have a deep appreciation for that. I think getting a handle on the job descriptions and expectations, as well as an evaluation process, which is something that you've all heard me say almost every month, I think is really important. And now, again, we're coming up, we'll have an election in March, and we'll be reorganizing, but we really do need a director, like Joanne has stated. I don't think that some of the stuff that I've seen are really nice ideas, but they're not, in my opinion, done exactly how they would be done by a professional director. I think language, I think, well, more than just language, diversity, equity, and inclusion, things are missing, especially in the political climate that we have right now. I think I asked Adele about the women's dance night on Fridays. I asked where those donations go. It was vague. I mean, those things, I think that those are the things that as a trustee on the board, those are the things that I feel are very important. My job is not to be the face of the library. It's not to come up with the programming or all the great ideas. And the ideas, I think, should be collective of the community that it represents. But they are to run the library effectively and professionally and clearly and according to open meeting law and transparently. And those are the things that I feel like are really, we're trying, but it's been extra challenging without the positions in place. I think that there's so many issues that get convoluted. I think that absolutely a pay raise is something that we've talked about, and you know that I've always supported. I think that we want to attract the most competent people that we want to be a part of our library. I think, though, in addition, it's incredibly important that we have a proper job description and that those things are evaluated, because I've seen some of those things really go to the side, and that is deeply concerning for me. So it's hard to, it's so complicated, it's hard to even know exactly how to start. And now with not having I think one place to start, actually, as I'm just, this was not prepared, obviously, is to probably, since we've asked Corey to chair for the next 2 meetings, to ask that, as a chair, that you would be the communicator with Adele and Nina, because that is the way the job description goes. And I don't think we need to make a motion on that. I think that we have voted for you to be chair, Corey, and that is part of the job description. I know that you're doing an awful lot.
Well, I haven't done anything like that because we haven't discussed it as a board, and I did not know that it was.
Discuss it now.
Yeah, we can discuss it.
Because I think that would give some order. I think we need order.
Right.
Desperately.
And to understand, again, everybody's responsibilities. And I should say, so as the board, a public board, we are 5 people who are elected separately. We don't act as individuals, we act as a board. And we act on things that we have discussed in open meeting and we have voted on in open meeting. And the board is an entity that is not, no one person is the board. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So, I did have some ideas about hiring a director of what we would need. I don't know if that's appropriate right now, but just wanted to.
Well, let's discuss, I mean, you are voted by us, it was approved already to chair the meetings, but do you guys want to do you want to talk about Corey being the one to speak to Adele and Nina until we have a director in place, or as we go forward? Until March? Till March.
Which is just...
because things are rapid fire going out there that I think need to be oversaw. What's the word?
Overseen.
Thank you. Thanks. Overseen. And then brought to,
Sure. Yeah, we need a point person to talk with the employees and with volunteers.
And a designated point.
And a designated point person, not have it be different people at different times.
Right.
So, since you are the chair for the next month, I would support that. It's a lot less confusion. In fact, it cuts way down on the confusion.
yeah.
Yeah. And it's more respectful to the employees and volunteers. And
Right, because I know they've been kind of hanging in the right, so there has been miscommunication just because there wasn't a succession plan and we were left without an actual chair. So that has been, the lip service has been because of that, and trying to act properly, basically, which I don't know that had been done with the prior chair.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
What do you mean when you say things are being sent out rapid fire? Like what, or things are changing rapid fire, or however you said?
I don't think I said changing, but things that, some of the programming that just things that have gone out, like the holiday letter, which was Merry Christmas, which was really not appropriate for a library to send out. I mean, Happy Holidays is one thing, and a lot of positivity is great, but that was offensive to some of our community members. We're diverse,
And
right?
non-inclusive. It was
non-inclusive. So, those are the kind of things that I think could use real oversight. I mean, I could go through, is that, the dance night, the flyer, the women's dance on Fridays with the woman
Arena Heidi, sorry.
So there's a donation encouraged, and I asked Adele, if that doesn't come to the board, we are responsible for the functioning and the running of the library. So the 5 of us are responsible for the dollars. If they're donated, where are they going? Are they going to pay the electricity? Are they going to pay, Adele said, to save up money for a speaker? Are we charging for the use of the space? Is there a contract or is there an agreement in place? Are we covered with insurance? These are the things that I was left not understanding. I think like your Front Porch Forum communications and some of the stuff on Facebook are great ideas, but I think without the leadership of a director, if it's not done in unison, and I think that community members have come to me and expressed their feelings also, then it doesn't feel like it's in accordance with the succession plan or with what are the ideas of the library. That's a great idea and a big responsibility, but Nina, this is the second meeting I've seen you at in a year, in 14 months. And so those are the kind of things that we are not getting reported on. And that's the breakdown of communication that I'm talking about, you know? So it's not the ideas, it's the
rollout of them and
it's the functionality.
Right. And to me, the structure.
It's the responsibility that I feel I have as a board, as a trustee.
Right. And the structure, so we're to work toward our vision and the mission statement and that strategic plan, and then kind of branch down from there, and then assign to the director, or the director would interact with us and have their ideas and then bring that to the...
Yeah. I mean, I think that when you say a lack of communication, it's been across the board. Like, to say that it lands on just Adele and I, there's been miscommunication. This is the first time I've ever heard anyone say anything specifically about a holiday letter or about the dance night or about anything. Like, it's the first time.
Because
so there's no communication.
There's no director.
It's like I'm here. Yeah, there's no director.
Exactly.
There's no director, but there's no emailing me or coming into my office.
We can't singularly email you. That's not the way.
But you can walk into my office and know where I am.
Don't look at me directly, because I already have a discomfort level because of the way I feel I was treated. So that's okay.
By me?
Yeah, and I don't really feel like it's necessary to talk about it.
I don't.
Oh,
yeah. The whole point of this dissension is that there is an appointed person, and that's what you're talking about bridging that communication. So
correct. Right. So that's what we're trying to put into place, so that there is, but that.
Frankly, it was, the communication was poor when Harley was chair. There was information that wasn't coming to me as a board member that Harley had as a communicator with the director, and probably Nina, that I didn't get. I mean, that is just, there was information, the information flow has been not working, not functioning since I've been a part of these meetings and part of the board, the way that I believe it should be.
Heather?
To me, as a community member, it just feels really inappropriate to be having this human resource conversation publicly.
These were public posts, and they were posted on behalf of the library.
Conversations you're having with a staff member.
She asked me a specific question, Heather, but we could review the tape, and I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about the way that it works.
You're talking about the communication, but once again,
they were public.
You guys should be setting expectations for your staff.
Correct. Yes. That's what we agreed. Yes, that's where we are.
That's why we're choosing a point person to talk to staff.
And I also would recommend that
I'm talking now. No, I think Heather had the floor.
Or everyone here
she stopped.
on the board
Oh, you the sergeant?
should perhaps consider taking some human resources courses which are available through UVM to sort of get a real handle on what it is to have a relationship with the staff. Because I'm pretty sure if you go down to Manchester, no one is micromanaging the leadership team down there and talking about what $25 fee are being paid by whom to use library space.
Okay, I'm not gonna.
No, we're not getting in a back and forth. That's not. We hear that
Let's not compare
communication has
ourselves
been
to
public
Manchester though either. It's not a municipal library, so it has nothing to do with.
I'm totally different, yeah.
Okay, but
the library director there gets $120,000 a year. I mean, a totally different category.
yeah. So and also the communications were public and they were put out on behalf of the library, I feel that that's appropriate to talk about that in public as well.
But it's not appropriate to speak about, it's not appropriate to address Nina down about something that there were grievances about in a public forum. That is inappropriate.
I guess we need to review the tape and how that started, okay? Okay. Before you snap at me,
I did not snap at you.
Okay, then.
I did not raise my voice, and I did not snap.
Terrific.
Sure.
No, I didn't. No,
we don't.
no, I didn't.
Sorry.
We could take a poll.
Please,
Time out.
let's not, we don't need a debate. We hear that. We do still need to proceed with no director. Do we have a consensus, or do we think that we, no?
I agree that communication is important. I agree that having proper channels is important. Given the feelings that I'm hearing, I don't know if, for the next 2 months, if having one person be a point person is the best idea.
It's only a month.
I think it's.
Tony, you
the
understand
only
it's
way,
just
though.
communication, it's not decision-making.
Right.
It's just.
It's just so that all of us aren't talking to her at the same time about different things or giving different messages.
So that they don't get pulled in different directions by different people. Yep. That's all. It's not me. It's, and again, yes, it's not decision-making.
I'm not arguing with you.
It's not decision-making. The board makes a decision, and that gets communicated, and it goes back and forth. That's how it should work. That's the point of the structure. Grace?
Yeah, no, I think that's fine, as long as it's strictly communication, not like,
decision.
and none of us should be going to, I mean, I think that's one of the big issues right now, is that it's not the place of a single board member to bring up an issue that we have or anything like that. It really, like, we can't and shouldn't. So, I mean, that's why we need to get a director soon.
Right.
And but I think it is true that it's a good idea to have one person, a point person, because it's the way the bylaws work, we have to have one.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? How has the library been staying open for the past year? Like, how has it been staying in operation?
It's been...
Like, day to day, just how's it?
The staff, yeah, and the board has continued to meet and do the work. It has there have been some, some dysfunction, I guess, with the board.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, but like, it's been operating for a year.
Right.
14 months or so?
Yeah.
I'm new here, I'm just...
Who are you? I didn't catch your name.
My name's Jim Hines.
Jim, okay.
H-E-I-N-Z.
Okay.
Where do you live, Jim?
I live in Middletown Springs.
Thank you.
So, yeah. Yes.
And forgive me, I've never been on a board, so I'm not sure when you communicate between each other, is it primarily through email? When you talk to the staff, is it in person? Is it through email?
The staff?
Yeah, so if, say you were the point person, would you be speaking with them face to face, or would it be primarily through email?
Well, that is, I believe that the previous chair was supposed to meet with the director once a week in person.
Okay.
But I think email would be probably
Do our bylaws address that?
I don't know if they do.
Yeah, it's.
I'm sorry, I didn't get your name.
I'm sorry, I'm Tanya Humphreys. I live in Middletown. It seems as though there's a lot of distrust and perhaps complicated feelings between the members of the board and the staff. And so could there be something that states you're the person writing the emails, you're the point person, but everyone is CC'd on them?
Yes.
So that way, and it's only for 2 months.
We would love that, and I wish the previous chair had done that.
And that way, everyone is seeing what's being said, and same as like Nina and Adele, if they respond, they're responding to everyone, but speaking solely to you.
The issue is if the board members,
we can't respond.
the board members can't respond.
Right, so then that's something you would have to agree on and trust each other to do.
And not do. Yeah, not
but that way everyone's covered, too, right? So it's right there.
That sounds good. I mean, yeah, that sounds
We-
like,
we
or at
try to
least,
operate like that now.
sometimes what I do is once I've communicated with somebody, I CC the board afterwards, just so that they see what has happened, rather than
Right.
being a part of the conversation, so that it's not.
And it's only 2 months, so, right, the structure is gonna change.
Probably 6 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, I might be old-fashioned.
Okay.
But it seems to me, especially as it's only 2 months, and as people have noted, there is some discordance between everybody. I think it would be better if at least once a week the point person got together with the staff, have a cup of tea, make a cup of coffee, and discuss that way. It eases. People can get offended by emails. You know what I mean? Emails are always open for interpretation.
That's true.
My feelings are, if you want somebody to make the coffee or tea, I'll do it. Because you know me about making tea. So, because I feel the only way is to have face-to-face, especially for maybe these 2 months.
Well, I guess one thing though is that Adele and Nina have separate schedules, right? You guys you don't work on the same days. Yeah, because we need you both to keep the library going. So, but maybe like meet with either of you in person and then email to everybody so that we all are on the same page, if that makes sense. Does that sound appropriate? Yeah? Okay.
Thanks.
All right.
Could I make a comment?
Oh, yes, Lucy, hi.
I'm Lucy Morgan. I live in West Pawlet. There were some incorrect things said during the course of this meeting about Nina's writing, and I have earned my living as a writer for the last, my living, and she's brilliant, and she completely wrote all of the baskets, and that's not to mention her graphic skills as well, which I think really needs to be corrected in your comments.
Well, sure. Some of the word problems with the donations.
I don't think we need to discuss
No,
that.
well-
Thanks for the comment.
Okay. Yes, thank you. Yes, Julie.
Julie Mack, Pawlet. I think you're getting in the weeds and losing sight of what the agenda specifically states. I think that what is important in order for you to quickly get a director in and probably most, if not all of these issues, is a clear timeline,
That's one I don't have.
timeline for when you do things, a responsibilities chart, so who is responsible for what and who specifically is not supposed to do what.
Oh, yeah.
And an evaluation process. And if you have all of those on a timeline, I don't know why you couldn't have those done the latest March, so that you could begin to advertise in April. Because moving anywhere beyond that is a continuation of spinning your wheels and getting yourselves further and further into a hole. I don't think it actually benefits anyone to talk about anyone's specific writing or set up a timeline to work on the evaluation process and the policies that you need to have in place in order to get a successful director in here. Focus only on that and let's get it done.
Thank you. I had this broken down, and that's what I had referenced before, which was, yes, an employee policy that we need to come up with, contract with, vetted by a lawyer, legal counsel. We need hiring protocol just in place before we even start the process. We need to revisit, this is not in order, revisit the job description, and then come up with a hiring, like a matrix for evaluation, so that we have a way that's like a spreadsheet, a way by numbers to evaluate the resumes that come in, and then also to evaluate people as we interview them. So outside, so have that done before we even start the opening.
There is a a lot of information from the Vermont Department of Libraries. They have a class, they gave a class last year on human resources that I took, and there was a lot of resources for the hiring process, such as rubrics to go through for filling things out, as well as employee evaluation for evaluations for the board and for the employees.
I have those actually printed out, and I have a folder of like the hiring process, and I did find those, and they're really helpful. Yeah.
Was it from put them on the agenda for February's meeting?
Sure.
To approve them, and can we get, and then obviously copies of them so we can all look at them before the meeting?
Okay.
There's also, in the same packet was a hugely helpful packet of policies, where it gives policy examples from other libraries. Did you see that too?
Yeah, I did. I was talking about that because some of them were so good that I just wanted to take the entire policy and just use that, because they've put time in, and then when we have a director, the director could look through that and, you know, edit or change or propose differences, but those have already been vetted.
And they've been through both use and legality.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's a really great plan. If you could put that on the February's agenda to just, when we were going through the last hiring process, I was looking through those policies, and it was informing a lot of how I was moving through that process. And so I think going forward, that would be...
Okay, great. So on the agenda, it's evaluation process with those examples distributed to everybody.
So Joni, you'll send that.
I don't think the
policies.
I think that is. I mean, I think that's
a big one.
I think next month we should concentrate on the first two. The
evaluation.
I think that the policy, like Corey noted, that the policy for. There are policies that we need to have in place. I mean, like, we don't have to do the entire, do the entire grocery list of policies, but the policies pertaining to hiring and the policies pertaining to, like, how staff is evaluated.
Yes.
Is relevant and necessary now.
100%.
Okay.
Yep. So maybe we could adopt those two policies in the February meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
So do you,
And I think I would like to think about actually scheduling reviews, because we keep talking about this and it just keeps getting kicked down the road. And
right.
I think that if we can come up with a good decide on a rubric next meeting, we can actually set up.
Okay.
Get going. It's not fair to anyone to not do those.
Yeah, I have that for sure. Sorry, but I agree. I think there are a couple different ones. Do you have them here, or that we have? One was
evaluation.
Yeah. So we can.
I gave everybody copies of that months ago, but I don't know. If
what's difficult is that because the structure that you depicted for us here. I mean, like the structure that you depicted for us here is really great, and it's clear to how the power structure of the library works. But it's tricky because right now, if we were to give evaluations, we are skipping. And so it's like, yes, we need to do evaluations, but how do we do it? Because we aren't the people who are overseeing the community coordinator. We're not overseeing the assistant to the librarian, and we're not overseeing the volunteers, because that's not our role. Right. And so it's like, how do we move forward while we are also not able to move forward?
Right. I mean,
that kind of sums up a lot.
Right.
Well, what about, do we start with the job descriptions?
Sure. I mean, the job descriptions, at least for the director, are really well thought out. They're really fleshed out.
Yeah.
They were well done when we had the strategic plan done. That was done in conjunction with...
So we have all those.
So that's done. I mean, and I feel like Nina's job description is here on the paper that she gave us tonight, and it's it's robust too. Lindsay created that. So so I think that just going back to the existing documents that we have and reviewing those and maybe adding to it, but like what we have is a great foundation to start with.
Yes, I agree. Okay, so distribute.
So to recap then, we have the job descriptions, and we have policies that we will review at our February meeting to adopt for evaluation, and what else? What was the other thing, Joni? I don't remember already.
The hiring process.
The hiring process.
So that would help us.
That'll be...
Yeah, and that's what I call hiring protocol, but same thing. Job description, yeah. That
Did
sounds-
did we vote on, is there still a motion on the table?
No, there isn't.
Yes.
There is?
There is.
Oh, where is it?
About whether you're going to be the...
That wasn't, that hadn't...
It wasn't, it was
There was no
consensus.
motion on that.
She is...
We're just
We already
discussing?
did that in a previous meeting.
But it was decided that she would be the point person.
Right, there's no motion on the table for that. We have just...
No, I'm agreeing with you,
Yeah,
there's not a
there's-
motion.
We've just been discussing it, and,
We wanted a consensus.
discussing, yeah, we were looking for consensus, and then you shook your head, and then we started
Okay.
talking about other things.
Okay.
So I don't know, do we have a consensus?
I think you should be the...
I appreciated Tanya's suggestion that everything is communicated.
So I think that my approach would be to do it in person, because, well,
But
we
you
can
may
see
have
how it
to
goes.
email it
And then
to us.
email
Yeah.
sort of a summary.
I think you said a memo.
Yeah, like, this is what we talked about, and then send to, and then they could say, I disagree, or we talked about something else, or this was important and this didn't get mentioned, or whatever.
But we can't, like, we can't...
No,
it didn't-
We
No.
won't discuss it.
We won't,
Just-
it could go back from staff to, and then, yes, we'll play it by ear, kind of, see how that goes, but I think that that would be positive, and then, like I said, maybe, I don't know if you and Adele talk to each other and do like a staff meeting at all, ever, or do you?
We see each other on some Thursdays.
Okay.
So we sometimes catch up during that time.
So I'll try to arrange to meet with both of you, either alternating or to catch you at the same time doing something like that.
You know their schedule, you know what?
Thursdays afternoons, or?
Yes.
Okay. And then, and you are Saturdays too, Thursdays and Saturdays, okay. And Adele, yeah, I know, I see Adele a lot more than that, but just being in here on the, I'm sort of heavier on the beginning of the week for my availability, but I can definitely make that happen. Does that sound good? All right, everybody? Sounds consensus? Okay. I don't know. So should we just vote on that then, I guess?
Do you want us to?
I make a motion that
Okay.
Cory be the liaison between the board and the employees and volunteers.
Okay.
And communicate with...
And also communicate with the board to let us know what she's communicating with them.
Is this
Second?
on the table?
I'm sorry, wait, I'm sorry, I'm looking for a second.
Oh, yes.
Right, well, in the March election, it's nobody, we don't have, there's
You won't have
nobody.
a chair.
There's no, you have to elect everybody and start the whole process over again. So, okay. Second, anybody? Any more discussion? I think we're set on that. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All, any opposed? All right, I will do that. Okay. So now, I didn't write the wording on this. I'm sorry. But I would need a motion to enter into executive session for the reasons. I have the number, but I didn't do the wording.
Or to discuss personnel.
Yeah. So somebody needs to find that we need to go into executive session for that and present that as a motion. I'm sorry.
I'm just I'm working on the wording. I move that we move into executive session per 1 Vermont V.S.A. statute 313A1B30.
That's 30 minutes,
That's 30
sorry.
minutes.
Sorry, there's so many parentheses. In order to discuss personnel issues.
And also to
And staffing.
invite
And then I'd also like to invite Nina to join us to this executive session.
I'll second that.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now we move to enter. I think that
Can we have
you found that we decided that we should go into executive session, and now we enter executive session?
And now we're great. And now can we have a 5-minute recess?
Okay, so now we're in executive session at 6:27.
No, well, we're gonna have a 5-minute recess.
Oh, sorry, yes.
6:32.
We'll turn to 6:32, sorry.
Coming back home.
We are coming back after, yes. Yes, and right, it is 7:05. We did pretty well with that. Okay, so we have discussion and action with the library staff salary request. Yeah, we did. We did.
Oh my God, my brain, of course we did. That's scary. Sorry. I forgot a whole segment. But I remembered. There, it's back.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to request from the select board raises in the amount that we discussed.
I'll second.
And for me to do it?
And for Corey to do it.
Okay, any discussion? All right, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, we'll do that. Get that email. Okay, reflection on operating norms. Where did we go with that?
I have a copy somewhere.
I just had it. It's in this thing. Here it is. Look. Oh. Did we focus on agenda topics? Yes. Open-minded? I believe so. Respect each other was, I think, fairly respectful. Value different viewpoints? Yes. Responsive and responsible to our community with reference to the strategic plan? I think. Make decisions based on data and facts. Yeah. Listen to each other. And I think that we did a good job this time of all of us speaking and listening to the public. Be reflective and run meetings that respect time. We did. Have concise agendas. Yes, and are transparent. And I believe that we did. Does anybody have any other thoughts on the operating norms? Okay, where are we now? Public comment. We have 10 minutes for public comment. Gordon.
So you said in the amount discussed, but you didn't reveal an amount.
Correct.
Will the amount be public after the select board or during the select board meeting, or when does it become public?
I'm not sure how that works.
Don't you do it in executive session?
We do it in executive session with the select board as well. So I don't know if they would do it in open meeting. I'm not positive how that works.
But probably until it's agreed upon, we shouldn't.
Yeah, right. Until they go through with it. Then I can ask about that.
Thank you.
Sure. Any other public comment? Okay, motion to adjourn? Oh, and our next meeting is the 11th, is that right?
Are we keeping the February meeting on the books then?
I'm sorry?
We are. There had been some discussion.
We do have it, I know, I just wanted to announce it.
Great.
Is it the 11th though? It's still with me. Announce it. Sorry. It is February 10th? No, 11th. Yeah, okay, great. Okay.
Wednesday.
It's a Tuesday, the 11th. Yep. Okay, so do I have a motion to adjourn?
I would. So moved.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Aye. All right. Meeting adjourned at 7:09.